We are live. No live because it's not live. It's recorded.
Shout out to Prost Brewery.
Prost.
Gentlemen.
They do have wine as well.
Oh, I saw that too. I was going to say.
They were just getting all the wine delivered as we were there, so they were putting it in the spot where the kegs should have gone, and they're actually going to have wine on tap as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
a really cool concept.
Cool.
That place is really cool.
Is it going to aerate the wine as it comes out the tap too, so you could just pour it into a glass and there you go?
I hope it doesn't.
I don't think they're adding like CO2, like carbonation or anything. Maybe just the process of pulling it through the line and into the glass aerates it.
Right, and that's
It's a
what I was
good
going to
question, but I
say.
don't know.
It's like
Deliver it a little bit.
It might have one of those things when it comes out of the, they call it an aerator, I guess, but you can add that even to your regular sink faucet. It adds more air bubbles so it comes out softer.
Right.
You could add that.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if they have it. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Puff Drink Talk podcast. And today we are going to be talking about Christmas. It's Christmas time, and it's all Christmassy. We are not on our Christmas costumes, and I forgot to change my shirt.
Yeah.
And you might be seeing me on a different shirt once we stop it. But yes, welcome, and then please comment, share, and like. And I'm Hilton Kill.
I'm Dylan Wilson.
Konrad Schubach.
And we are Puff Drink Talk.
Yeah, that again.
Let's puff, drink, and talk.
We are going to be smoking some cigars. We already done reviews on these cigars, so
yes,
we ran out of different cigars for reviews. But we're going to be puffing away, and then
doesn't mean we can't smoke it again and make comments. And
It's just time for a nice little re-up for new reviews coming in the future. But for now, we're going to be smoking and drinking and talking.
Yeah, there
Sound
you go.
good.
Can I have the straight cup, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Certainly so. As I so often do.
All right.
Missing Georgie today.
We are missing George today. He's going to become a little regular in here.
Feel better, George.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he's just busy.
Oh.
It's even worse. Find more time for me, buddy.
Get sick. So you have an excuse.
Once you
I
get
borrow that
sick or something. Oh, yeah, with the real excuse. Hopefully he sends in his pics. I don't know that we'll have them in time for the podcast when we get to it, but at least I'll know for our records. He fucked around and did better than all of us last week.
Oh, he's definitely not fucking around. He was there with his phone looking up stats, and he knows
But
everything.
that's cheating. He shouldn't do that.
In a way. It was like when Andre came in and was like, no, you can't look anything up or your vote doesn't count. And I think that's a huge disservice to you and to George. People that aren't watching football, how are you going to know what's going on unless you just look at numbers?
Yeah. Okay. I take that.
But if you had a 9-3 team matching up against a 3-9 team, but the 3-9 team just traded for some really good players, and the 9-3 team, their starting quarterback went out with a broken leg, that game's going to shape up to be something vastly different. And if we can't talk about it, how would you know? That's on automatic. That's the problem. So that was my beef last week.
What?
Just wanted to give some insight to some of the games. Like, for example, I didn't realize I would have picked the Saints if I knew Derek Carr was back playing, but I had no opportunity to look it up. So had I known that Derek Carr
Should we start doing that now? But then our picks will be
It'll take a lot
more of the similar than like going, all the way.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying. I didn't know. And similarly, a couple weeks ago, the same thing happened where Gino wasn't playing for Seattle, and I didn't know. Little things that I didn't know.
And Gino was supposed to play yesterday.
And then he didn't,
And then he didn't, but Seattle still won. So.
But you know what? he was supporting Drew Lock heavy on the sidelines.
Yes.
He was really giving him his flowers, and he was kind of coaching him through the whole process. I thought that was great. It's a lot more respect for Geno Smith than I already had.
Yeah.
Hopefully Geno ends up in like a legitimate starting role next year, and I hope it's with Seattle.
I hope so.
But if it's
really
not,
hope so.
I hope he earns it somewhere else, because he's a fucking good player, and he doesn't deserve to just get kicked to the street. He's playing a lot better than Daniel Jones is playing. Zach Wilson has been playing.
Yeah.
So he deserves this. There's 32 teams. There's not 32 better quarterbacks out there than him. He needs to be on one of those squads.
Right.
He is at least in the top 32.
And in the contract that Seattle gave him this last year was just peanuts.
Yeah.
Just so small.
That's why I'm hoping he can use tape from this year to try and renegotiate his contract going forward. Because he's clearly been a difference maker in these games.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, he definitely has.
So, Christmas.
I love
Christmas time.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So how's the cigar?
Really good. Really good. It's a good one.
Always it starts good, doesn't it?
It does. It always does start good. On
Very rarely a cigar starts really bad. Like one I had, a couple of weeks ago. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bad cigar you had.
Could have been my hydration that wasn't up, my mood. It could have been something like that. So I do need to come back to that cigar because it's a good brand. So it could be a good brand with a bad blend.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just really getting into these Ernesto Perez's. And it's hard to come back from it.
I only smoked
Bacarillo.
twice the Carrillo, so.
Your palate is so rich now.
First time I was like, this is 110.
Yeah.
At least. That's me I'm being conservative.
Really? Yeah.
So,
It was unbelievable. I didn't know how good a cigar could get.
I've still not had one yet, and I'm trying to wait for the right time to bless my palate with it.
I know. Christmas gift is gonna be there.
Oh, there you go.
I've been waiting for the right time because I don't want to build up the hype too much.
So I know what I'm gonna buy myself a Christmas gift. And smoke in front of you.
I have a Prost cups. Can't take it away.
No, it's in your car, right?
Yeah, put it up.
I saw Dylan sprint to his car as soon as he got here.
Hey, you're not taking that away from me.
By the way,
just like my ID, they weren't going to keep it.
yeah, seriously. This wine
It's really nice.
is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it.
The texture, it has a very nice silky, like buttery, smooth texture on the tongue.
But then it has a dryness at the very end.
Yeah, see, I don't know if we talked about it or not. My family owns wineries, so I'm actually very well versed in the world of wine.
Yeah,
And he never brought any wine for us to drink.
yeah, what an asshole.
Me and that side of the family don't get along, but I'm happy to do it.
So are you a wine connoisseur?
I had my first sip of wine at 11 years old at my dad's gay Christmas party. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So we, it's one of the, he lives in Beaumont, Texas, southeast Texas, close to the border.
Yep.
It was one of the original houses in the city of Beaumont. Is the very, very first house to get air conditioning in the city of Beaumont. And it has its own maid's quarters. It's like almost like a plantation style home that's been there for a very long time.
That's badass.
And the people that own it now are some wealthy gay guys that my dad's friends with. He's in real estate, and the gay community there is all very well known with each other. They all know each other,
right?
And it's very, very, it's just architecturally, it's a very cool house. And one of the guys that lived there was a painter, and he converted the garage into an art studio, and he would like take hallucinogens and drink wine and go crazy and just paint the most interesting stuff that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that was the first place I was ever at where I like walked in the door. I'm a little kid, and one of the guys was like, "Can I take your coat? Do you like dry wine or like a fruity forward red wine?" And I was like, all I knew was what my dad drank. I was like, "No, I really like a dry red." And everyone just started laughing because I'm like an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I prefer a dry red. just so serious, so matter of fact. And he poured me a glass of a dry red. My dad let me take a sip of it, and ever since then, I've just been a fan of red wine.
You've been on the right path, because I had my first sip of wine when I was 14 years old. And it's the same thing. My dad likes, dry red wine. And that's what he gave me when I was 14 years old. And then ever since, I was a red wine guy.
Well, again, it was just a sip. It was a sip of a glass. I didn't get a full glass. It was just a sip.
Right.
And then he finished it. But I really did. It's like once you taste it, you're like, whoa. The tannins, they dry your cheeks out, and the supple flavor of the fruit on your tongue, it's different.
Yeah.
This ain't no Welch's grape juice.
Yeah, my daughters, I let them sniff
Free
it.
son.
Yeah.
You know.
My daughters, I let them sniff it.
Yeah.
Just because I want to be able, when they are at age, at drinking age, to drink with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't want them to drink
It's the proper passage.
something that I'm not drinking. I want them to go like, no, Daddy, I want to be down there in the kitchen. I'm visiting you, whatever, and then I want to have some red wine with you. That's what I want my daughters to do with me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, give it a smell, give it a sniff. And then they sniff it, and then my little one, that she's only 7, she goes like, and then the older one, she goes like, she's only 11, but then she goes like, that smells really good, Daddy. And it's like, yeah. So when you are 21, right, is the drinking age. So you're 21, you'll be able to drink with me. So
That's nice.
yeah. So that's how we go about. So until then, you just sniff it. And it's can I do it again? No, it's only one sniff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the alcohol is what it's evaporating there. So
Yeah.
so one is fine. There's less alcohol on the sniff than on
Sip of it.
no on cough.
Oh, like a mucin, it's like cough syrup.
Yeah, cough syrup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely bring some wine for you guys. All I have in my stock right now is port wines, and I hate port wines.
I'm not a big port guy either.
And it's the only reason I still have them unopened. But they're like vintage 2015 or so. So they're going on close to 9 years now. So they should start aging properly.
They should be.
But with that amount of sugar in a port wine, like they're going to start getting potentially rancid. I don't know.
No, the thing they first go up in alcohol levels.
Before
Because it gets very, very licorice.
But I'm just not at all a fan. The only way I drink port wine is if I pour like a little 2-ounce pour over like a bowl of ice cream and I split it with somebody because it's just too sweet. But the next time I'm
Over
out
a
there,
bowl of ice cream, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
It's
so-
delicious.
when we open,
Papaya.
papaya is
never-
probably really good because you get the tropical fruit flavor.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
when we opened the winery up, that was I used to work out there as a server for a little bit when we were first opening it, just helping them. And
Out in the hill country?
yeah, it's in Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg? Okay.
And
I love Fredericksburg.
we would
It's
buy
so cool.
the probably from Costco or something, but it's like a big bag of Bluebell ice cream, and it's just like the little cups of it.
Oh, yeah.
You'd pop it open, and on our bottles, we'd have a stopper that would stop it after probably a 1-ounce pour. Like I would do 1 or 2, just depending on the customer and how everything had been going. But yeah, you just put like a little shot of that port wine over the top of a little cup of ice cream. It's really good. It's like raspberry flavor with the vanilla ice cream. It's all sweet. It's a dessert wine.
Yeah.
But that's all I have like in stock right now. So, but the next time I'm down there, I'll grab something or I'll grab something else. I'm just not close with that side of the family.
Okay.
Not for my own. I mean, they've just all had their differences. It's not anything that I have against them.
Right,
It
right,
makes-
right.
You know how family gets sometimes.
Yeah.
It just makes it tough. But
Well, I mean, obviously, we don't want to put you in any type of tough position just to get a,
Oh, no. We
Sam,
do.
he
We
does.
want
He does.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't want to pay
Just-
full price for
just
it, but I'm
go
gonna have
in there.
to go pay
Yeah.
full price for
Just
the
go in
fucking.
there and get a wine for us.
I will. And I don't care if you hate it, because I'd have no sense of pride in this wine. So you can be as honest as you want.
So, and it's so funny you say that because when I was at HEB buying this wine, I stopped actually at the Texas section
Mm-hmm.
of wines, and I was like, I need to call Hilton and see if he's had any Texas style wines before.
I've had some.
And I didn't.
They're a
even,
bit drier.
They're a little bit drier,
Mhm.
and I didn't even think about talking to you and say like, yeah, that's my family's wine, or I recommend this one, or anything like that.
I don't think they have it in HEB just because they're trying to create more of a niche, like you have to come to them. So they do like, and
It's
that's
a
what
more high-end kind of stuff.
it is higher end, but that's what everybody who's like higher end in Fredericksburg does. You like join a wine club, and then quarterly they do wine parties where you come and pick up 4 bottles to 8 bottles of wine. You get to do the little. It's usually themed, so it's quarterly, right? So it's 4 times a year. So around like the holidays, this time of year maybe it's Christmas themed.
Right.
March, it's St. Patrick's theme, and they always do different stuff. One time it was like Renaissance. One time it was like everybody dressed for Halloween. It just depends where it falls.
Right.
But you get the wine that you already paid for, and then it's like a themed party with catering, and that's what they do. I have actually all my uncles went in on one winery, and then they kind of had a falling out. They bought another uncle out, and he opened another winery in Johnson City. So we have 2 wineries, actually. One's the Castle on the way into Fredericksburg, and the other one's in Fredericksburg. So we have all different kinds of wine that I could bring you from that area.
Yeah.
But no, I think the best hill country, like Texas wine, from Fredericksburg in particular, like Becker Vineyards is very good. William Chris Vineyards, very good.
Why are you having this guy who didn't like it when you smoked it?
Come on.
Hilton keeps receipts on everything.
I know my stuff, you know what I mean? And it already went off.
That's how much I like it, man. I'm willing to go through a little bit of pain.
I have a question on Christmas now, just to get into Christmas talking.
Do it.
Is there a difference between Texan food and Californian food?
Yes.
For Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dylan.
He's busy.
Christmas food's different, though. Christmas food is more... the answer is yes, but everybody comes from a different place. So some Christmas food traditions could come from, like, heritage. So, like, for Spanish
depending
influence,
on...
very popular Christmas food for Spanish people is tamales.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love tamales.
for my family personally, every year we always do, it's like a breakfast pizza is what we call it. It's like breakfast casserole. So we always do breakfast casserole, which is like hash brown crust with eggs and bacon and sausage, and it's mixed all together. It's a casserole. And then we do chicken and sausage gumbo. Because we're from southeast Texas, near the border of Louisiana. We're pretty Cajun. So we always do chicken sausage gumbo with breakfast pizza. And then when you get closer to New Year's is when we bust out like the black-eyed peas and the collard greens and things like that.
Interesting.
Every year we do it.
Interesting.
Brings good luck.
The only type of tradition that I would say that my family did was we would always have like a specific cheese.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the only thing that I could ever think of. But other than that, for us, dinner, the Christmas Eve was our Christmas. Like my dad's a huge child. Like he's always the one at the Christmas tree being like, "Hey,
Who wants to open one?
who wants to open up these presents?"
I love that.
And my mom would just be so pissed, like, "Shut up, you're gonna
got
spoil
one more
the
night."
kid." Yeah. So Christmas Eve is the night that we would go out. This is how our day goes. The day went as when I was growing up. We would just be hanging out normally as kids. Christmas night, we would have some type of dinner, whatever the family decided that we were going to have. One year it could be pizza. One year it could be whatever. There was no real tradition to the food.
Sure.
But then we would go looking at Christmas lights. We would hop in the car and go see Christmas lights. And that's when Santa would come and drop off presents. The irony of that is, obviously, once we all got older and realized, there is no Santa, we still kept that tradition. In fact, the first Christmas with my wife, it was so hard to explain to her, like, yeah, Santa's coming. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, just go along with it. And my dad would, like, we go out to the car, and my dad goes in, like, the secret room, and he grabs the presents and puts them under the tree, and then we go look at Christmas lights, and then we come back, and, the cookies are gone, and Santa was here, So...
I love that.
That's sweet.
Yeah. But, and we kept it up when we didn't have kids, and now, obviously, when I have my kids, the grandkids, now it's me to continue that tradition, and I do that, and my dad helps me and stuff. So
That's cool.
that's kind of our. So to answer your original question, it's whatever we really decide. Now having Brazilian, my wife and then Juliana and stuff. Now we're leaning more into like the traditional Brazilian food.
Why is
aspect.
that? Was the women dominate?
Oh, 100%.
You answer that question.
Yeah.
So it's Brazilian women dominate, not the men.
Well, and I just go to HEB and buy the food and bring it back. But no, whatever they want to do. To me, I don't care. I don't care what's
pick
for
your
dinner.
battles.
Yeah, pick your battles. I don't care about the dinner. I'll eat it, and then we'll go do the Santa Claus thing because then I get to eat.
But
the cookies.
what is it that you're eating now because of?
So
Brazil?
we're gonna have stroganoff. We're gonna have. We're not gonna do turkey. We're gonna do chicken with farofa and.
Because normally the Brazilian dish is turkey.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever Thanksgiving is in here without the ham, just turkey, is all we have for Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? In Brazil, traditionally. Of course, in my family, there's always like, okay, let's get the smallest turkey just to keep the tradition alive for whatever reasons, like whoever is looking out for it. And then in the end of the night, it's the turkey is still there, untouched. And we always,
Eating picanha.
we had the picanha,
Yeah.
all night long.
Yeah.
And Christmas lunch, which actually on Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve,
Right.
depending where you are, would have crab. And I love that.
What do you do
Interesting.
now?
But that's our family, and that mainly because of the influence of me. Because I go, okay, so we would buy like 80 crabs, not the king crab, like the river kind of mud crab
Yeah.
that we have in tropical countries. And then, so we'd buy like 80, and then probably about 40 would feed the whole family. And I would sit down, after everybody ate at around 1 p.m. And then I would finish eating by 5 p.m.
The remaining
Jesus.
crab.
all the remaining of the crabs.
Jesus Christ.
I just love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
It's like, that's why my jaw is strong. And I practice
what it
the
is.
whole year smoking cigar because crab is got to,
Suck
what I mean?
it out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Suck that meat out.
Never would have guessed. Crabs.
But that's the and it's funny you're saying it's stroganoff because it's not really it's not the conventional tradition food.
And I think
It's a very good food though.
It is a good food, and I think Juliana is the one that wants to do the stroganoff. So maybe in her family, or maybe Minieras, they have stroganoff. I don't know. But
Where's she from? Minas?
Minas,
No, it shouldn't be. It should be pork. It should be something else.
yeah. Or maybe that was Camila that wanted to do. Maybe I don't know anymore who wants to do what with the food. So
Yeah, you're probably like,
I'm zoning out. I know my mom's. I think she's gonna make macaroni and cheese,
oh yeah, that's the one.
but like homemade. Like she uses
I
a
know.
bow tie. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, my mom.
It's like 5% better than the one you buy at supermarket. 100%
Ooh,
better.
100% better. It's
Okay.
creamy, velvety. You feel.
I
it.
saw.
You
I
taste the cheese.
did you see? I saw his
He's
face,
wondering.
and I corrected it just in time. You know what I mean? So, to not
You were
upset
I was
him.
gonna put on you a blast for saying that.
I put an or in there.
Yeah,
so
I was
just-
gonna bring the
I
mac and cheese
transformed.
over, but now I'm not.
I got a statement transformed into a question quite quickly
Yeah.
by looking at his body language.
Yeah.
Sorry, Konrad.
Start fighting words for my mom's macaroni and cheese.
You don't mess with that.
Yeah. Her that and,
And
her
to be
cream
honest with you,
corn.
I had, my girls actually had macaroni and cheese in your house. That last time we went to your house, it was a birthday party, and I think it wasn't like a supermarket bought. It was something that
That
your
was my mom.
Yes,
That
your
was my mom.
She made, and it was actually really good.
Yeah.
It was
Where's she
very
from
good.
originally? The Seattle area?
Yeah, the wash. Yeah, just outside of Seattle. So,
Good mac and cheese out of there, man.
well, it's a lot of that German, Swiss, Swede, big rolling hills, grass, cows. She grew up on a farm, so they did their own corn and they had cattle.
But
and stuff like
you have to get creative with those types of ingredients. But that's where you get really good cream corn, really good macaroni and cheese. Those kind of sides that seem more basic, but you can do a lot with them in elevator.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. I never really had a cream corn that I liked a lot. I had some that I was like, oh, this is good. And then some like, I just don't like it. But I never really one that's like, oh man, this is something that I could eat quite often.
Yeah.
I never had that. I don't know why.
Ooh.
Probably it's on my palate.
I'll see if my mom can make. Yeah, well, and I understand that because there's sometimes, and maybe it's just
I think,
biased toward there's mother.
The thing is, I think probably the American corn, it's a little bit different than Brazilian corn.
Yes.
When I had a Welsh friend once, and he actually lives in Denver, Colorado, and he once told me that the corn that we buy in Brazil to eat is actually the corn that they give to pigs in the island of United Kingdom.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
So
It's the good stuff.
it's the good stuff that animals eat, but not the humans. It is not what you normally eat in the UK and in the US.
All right.
It's a different
It's not as
corn.
sweet. It's not as sweet.
It's non-sweet at all.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost savory.
Yeah.
And then people even like put butter in it.
Yes.
Just to over here, when you put butter, you're actually mixing that sweet and sour
Yes.
kind of a sweet and salt
Sweet
flavor.
and salty.
Yeah, flavor, which is something that is very common here in the U.S.
Everybody loves sweet
Yeah.
and salty. Salty, savory.
My wife hates that, and I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet and salty, or just?
I love sweet and salty. Do you know
I love
when
sweet
you got
salty
like a
cake.
very salty cheese with some sort of jelly?
Yeah.
It's like in Brazil we have a jelly made out of guava that is hard. I gotta bring some for you to try.
Like it.
And then with a very salty cheese, and I love
it's gotta be
it.
incredible.
I love it. We call it Romeo and Julieta.
Yeah.
It's-
I love any type of grilled cheese with some sort of jelly added to
Grilled
it.
cheese is good.
Because it's salty with the creamy cheese and the sweetness of the jelly. It doesn't really matter how you get there. Any jelly, it's always good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's really easy to go too sweet,
Yeah.
and it's really easy to go too salty.
Just so salty. Yeah.
But when you find that kind of like middle ground, it doesn't really matter what it is. I think it always tastes good. Like kettle corn is my favorite popcorn. I still like buttery popcorn. Kettle corn is fucking
That one is
delicious.
good.
Yeah.
It's sweet and it's salty.
Yeah.
My daughter, every now and again, the little one, Lily, and I normally do like either toast for breakfast for her, or a Hawaiian roll. Yeah, roll.
I love those things.
Just
too.
delicious.
Those are so good.
And then she was like, "Daddy, can I have some jam with that?" And I normally get, and I put the right amount of jam because I know
The proper amount.
the proper amount. Because
You
I
don't,
know.
you don't do too much. You don't do like a spoonful of it.
No. If I
It's a tablespoon.
Konrad, if
Yeah.
I do it once for you to try, and you go like Hilton, how can you get this perfect? Because I freaking like it.
Yeah.
So I know what it is, again, from my palate. But, so I do it for her, and then she eats it. And she's like, can I have another one? You know what I mean?
Of course.
2 days ago, I prepared her a bun, and then I gave it to her, and she was like, and then I went, because I had to go to do something. And then my wife came downstairs, and normally I prepare them for school, but they're not in school anymore, right? Because it's Christmas break. So, I prepared a Hawaiian bun, and then I didn't put any jam in it because she didn't ask for it. So I gave it to her, and then she's like, "Oh, Daddy, Mommy put some jam for me." And then she gave it in one bite. And then she was sitting there, and I was actually having coffee. I was there, and I was like, "Okay." I'm eating, and then she was like, "Daddy, I don't want it anymore."
Isn't that the best feeling?
I was like,
It's
it's
gotta
okay. It's okay, Daddy. You can leave it all. And then I didn't look at it until I got back at night and I was still on the counter because my wife just went to work, and she spent the whole day working, and then I look at the counter, and it's like there was like jam, like
oozing out of it.
Oozing out of it,
Yeah.
exactly. It was like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I understand why Lily didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that is,
It's too much.
yes, that is the right amount to put it. And normally it's less jam than butter
Right.
because the jam is too strong.
It's very strong.
Yeah. And we actually, in my house, I only use Irish butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and so if it was a different
I
butter.
like Irish butter.
If it
too.
was a different butter, it would have been even less jam. You know what I mean? The
Right.
Irish butter is, is very good salty butter. So
Yeah. I think that's a
Right.
metaphor.
Right.
Well, not a metaphor, but I think that's how most proper food is created. Not too much of this, not too much of that. Just a perfect amount of sweet, spicy, salty, whatever the thing is. You have to have. I mean, even a cigar, you can't have it
Especially
be
in Instagram.
too bitter. It can't be too sweet. It's got to have that
Tell
right
me-
combination to be a good
That
palate.
is what made me fall in love with just Asian cuisine, because they always have a medley of savory with the right amount of citrus and acidity and some fat and some sweetness and spiciness. Like, they just find a way to hit all the marks in all these dishes. That, like, I've always just loved Chinese and Asian food more than anything. I could eat probably Chinese food every single day. Every day. I'd
Yeah.
never get tired of it.
Really?
Because I could switch between different kinds of, like, Chinese chicken, General Tso's, orange chicken, Kung Pao chicken. Like, all of them are just enough different, but have the right oomph to them. I could never get tired of Chinese food. And if I got tired of Chinese food, I could switch to Thai food. I could switch to Japanese. Anything in that whole Asian realm, I would
Yeah.
never get tired of it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Asians has been around much longer in this world than any of us on the Occident or the Western I should say.
Civilization?
Yeah, the Western civilization, right? So the Easterners, they have been around a little bit longer than us,
Right.
And so they have been through different crises and different
Famine.
yes. So they would potentially have in the past the need to find different spices, different anything that would season something that was unedible. Do you know what I mean? In order to make them edible. So, and that's why,
Absolutely.
and that's why I believe that because I do like Asian food. in
Can I
some
borrow
way.
that after you?
Absolutely.
I got to.
Have you seen the newest trend in street Asian food? Like street Japanese food or street Korean food? It's grilled ice cubes.
Excuse me?
Hop on TikTok or YouTube, you'll find it. They're at these street vendors now. They're adding seasoning, and they're perfecting the technique of finding big ice cubes and grilling them in a way and adding certain flavors to it, that because they have no good food in other categories, that people will order like seasoned grilled ice, like chicken nuggets. And it's a big
What?
thing right now. I will try and find one when we talk about something. I promise you, this is a real thing that is taking over.
I want to try this now to see what it tastes like.
I would be interested too,
Yeah.
just because I'm sure it tastes better than just an ice cube. But the reason they're doing it is what you were mentioning, is like you have to find a
They
way to
find-
take food that's inedible and find a way to make it
So,
edible.
so you're just like improving the point, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a trend that is really going on right now. That
Interesting.
I've seen it, and I'm intrigued by it, but it's for the wrong reasons. You know, they have to do it because it's what they have available. I'm intrigued because it's something different.
Is that because the world is too populated right now? Or?
I feel like it's too populated. Elon Musk will say it isn't. Elon Musk says we need more people. There's not enough people.
Yeah, I
He
saw
says our
something.
generation's producing less children.
Well,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
I
it-
agree.
It
We
has,
are.
yeah, it has been actually
Decline.
since when I was in UK still, and then it has been on the talks. So Elon Musk is not coming from just like out of his own perception. This is being talked about in UK, for example, since 2008, 2009. Like, the people are actually aging because the couples are having less kids. Like, two people get married as a couple, they're having one kid.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Less people.
Less people.
Yeah. Well, who was it? Kim Jong-un, North Korean president, dictator, ruler, almighty God himself, broke down and started crying.
I saw that.
In an interview, he was begging people of North Korea to have more kids because they are going to run out of people.
Okay. So let me put that on the computer because you'll find something.
Grilled ice cubes cooked on a barbecue are a specialty street food in China.
That's interesting. Why would you grill something that is going to melt the grill?
Yeah.
They had flavor, and I don't know. And that's what's going on right now.
It becomes kind of a drink, right?
This is an article by the New York Post. She looks like she's trying to enjoy it, but she can't. That's what that face looked like to me. Yeah, they put sauce and all types of red chili flakes, seasoning, sauces. Vendor claimed that the spiced ice, which ran customers around $2 a pop, was a specialty from Northeast China. A claim that has since been debunked by locals. So maybe it's kind of like a viral thing.
Oh, they did it just to get it viral and then get
Could
deals
be.
and whatnot. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of people wanting to do, things like that. Like, have you seen those? My phone is going off right now. But have you seen those, like breaking stuff when they swing it and then break things?
No. Maybe. No.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
There is a trend. There is a trend on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, social media. That they put things on ropes and then they just swing, and then they, like, let's say 2 toilets, right? And just like swing.
Oh yeah,
And
I've
then
seen that.
and then the video goes until it bangs and crashes it.
Well, I think that's an ASMR type of video.
It's
where
kind of thing, yeah.
Where
It's
you're
kinda
just
thing.
waiting, like who's gonna hit first, what's gonna break first, what's gonna shatter, who's gonna be the winner of this outcome.
Yeah, everybody's trying to do something to get the views of like entertainment, right? So to get views and get famous and get their 15 minutes of fame and whatever.
Well, hey, I mean that's creativity.
ASMR poker and fucking all the things that she can.
I saw an inside joke in there.
How dare you? Still think it's a great idea.
So bad. Hey, I see a hole, I plug it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have somebody calling me constantly.
If it's the same number multiple times.
Yeah.
might
but-
Is it the same one every time?
Yeah.
You need to take it, Hilton. We can pause the podcast.
No, I can.
Some Bolsonaro is like, please vote for Bolsonaro in the next election. Lula's a bitch. Shout out Andre. Hope you're doing good down there in Brazil, man. We miss you.
Yeah, man.
Fuck Lula.
Jesus Christ.
From our own very own Texan.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm proud to support it. My dad actually is a native Texan. My mom is from California. The whole family, they're all from California, but they moved here before it was cool in the 70s.
So they get a pass.
I give them a pass.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
born here.
Yeah.
I'm just like Alice and Lily. I can say whatever that I want. I'm a Texan. They're Texan.
They were born here? Alice and Lily were born here?
Lily.
Lily was born here, and Alice came in here 3.5 years old. And she goes like, no. Okay, I was born in Brazil. I'm Brazilian.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like
How
it.
funny.
Yeah. She is Texan, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's got a Texan accent, and then she got Texan spirits, and
Yeah.
she's Texan.
That's so funny because my kids do the same thing. My daughter was born here, but my son was born in California.
Okay.
So Lauren, she'll always be like, Lucas, you were born in California, right? It's just so weird. So weird that you were born there, and I was born here, and we live here now.
She's like razzing him up.
Yeah. Just rubbing it
He's
into
not
him.
really Texan.
Yeah. She's like, it's just so weird you were born there.
hilarious.
Oh, well, anyways.
That's funny. My sister's named Lauren.
Oh, yeah?
My older sister's Lauren.
Nice. I'm sure she's a
It's a good
great
name.
person. Yeah.
She is a great person.
See? There you go. There you go. My daughter, on the other hand, has been a pain in the ass. I tell you what. Jesus criminy.
How old is she?
She's lovely.
4 going on like
Okay.
24.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah. She is.
Funny.
Well, thing is, she's very, very smart. She's already starting to read, and she writes out everyone's name. Like, how do you spell your name? She does each letter and stuff like that.
Every letter, she knows like a.
Dude, I don't even know how. I don't even know.
And she'll remember it from like the.
She'll just sit here and like start copying, like, and she will start phonetically sounding out things. So she'll go sp, r, and then she'll read things at 4, and I'm going, all right. And then here, my son at 8, he's like, I don't know what the fuck it says. He just gives up, and I'm like, you're like, your sister's outdoing you, bud. Like, you can't be doing this. So
whatever, man.
he's just gonna play baseball. That's how he's gonna make his money. So
He's from California, so.
yeah, just really rubbed off on him. Jesus Christ.
I don't even know who to put the camera on. So another Christmas tradition. So we talked about a little bit about food, and so what about the present time? You already talked a little bit about when you go to Christmas light. What time does that happen?
Well, usually when people are starting to get a little antsy, 7, 8 o'clock ish.
On the
Christmas.
24th.
Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve is the day.
Okay.
Christmas Day, that's the day that you just play with all your gifts. It's a normal, regular day. Christmas Eve is the day. That's when it's going down. That's when it's going down.
Okay.
So 8 o'clock, go out, come back. Then we start. Well, Santa came. Here's all of the presents that he left, and then we start passing out. Or I'll play traditionally. The father figure, head figure. Me and my dad, or my brother when he's there. We play Santa Claus. Like, we grab the present, be like, oh, this one's to Lauren from Grandma and Grandpa, and we pass them out to everyone and stuff. So Christmas Eve.
You.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
See, yeah.
So when you wake up, the presents are there under the tree?
Yes. So, we used to always have presents from our parents. So the tree would be riddled with gifts. Christmas Eve, you'd go to sleep, you'd wake up the next morning, and there would be new presents that had arrived.
Yeah.
As we got older, less patient, we wanted to open something. We started the tradition of every Christmas Eve, we would get to pick one gift, my sister and I. My eldest sister she's 10 years older, so she's out of the house by then. It was me and my older sister Morgan, and we would pick one gift. And every year, we'd always try and find the biggest gift. And every year, my mom would say, no, you can't pick the biggest gift to open on Christmas Eve, so we'd have to pick something else. And oftentimes, it would just be like socks. Or just like she knew we were going to do this, so she'd find a gift to hand to us, and it would be like a stocking stuffer, essentially. And as we continued to get older, we were like, no, we're not doing that. Come on, let's open a real gift. And then, as things progressed, the single mom, I went and shopped with her the whole time for Christmas. Yeah. My older sister didn't want to do any of that. My mom would beg us to go shopping with her. She didn't want to go. I was the only kid that would do it. So the whole time, I always knew what I was getting for Christmas, and she would give me stuff early. I was trained at a very young age. Like, if mom asks you to go to a store, you go to the fucking store. Like, my older sisters don't want to do it, but I go to the store, and she's like, we're looking at all this stuff. I get to pick it out. I know everything I'm getting for Christmas. The caveat to that is it sucks because you don't get to open it until Christmas.
Right.
But I got to pick out everything I fucking wanted every year. And
would you tell your sister like, no, don't pick that one. That's like a shirt. Just go pick this one.
No.
No?
I didn't want to help her out at all.
Really?
She didn't want to be a part of it.
It's the
Sibling.
siblings competition.
Sibling.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be a part of the gang. She wanted to come put in the work that I'm putting in. It's work. I'd spend 2 full days with her going and shopping. It's work. And she didn't want to do it. She wanted to go hang out with her friends. She's a couple years older than me.
Right.
Cool. She thinks she's too cool for it. No,
Yeah.
I'm not helping you out at all.
Yeah.
I hope you pick Cole. I picked everything I wanted, and I got a gift early. Because I'm the youngest, I'm the only boy, and I'm the only one that would spend all this time. I got a lot of favoritism. But it taught me a lot of things in life. It's like, you see an opening,
You grab the
see
opportunity when they come.
and
Yeah.
you grasp it, 100%. And so that's kind of what I learned by that. But as far as just normal family Christmas traditions, we opened one gift early on Christmas Eve, and everything was Christmas Day.
Okay.
It's a little different for me just because I learned how to exploit Christmas systems.
Yeah, in our case in Brazil, it's always like you have the Christmas Eve, and it's like, okay, so we wait and wait and wait and wait. We fall asleep and wake up, and then we have to pray, at midnight.
Oh.
Yes, so
To
we gotta
to
wait
Santa?
until midnight.
So you stay up all the way?
We eat and whatnot in there, and we wait until midnight, and then we pray, and then we eat the main dish, and then we go to sleep. And then next day there are some, not many, some presents, some gifts in under the tree when we have a tree. But that is it. So so what we do for our kids, kind of following on that thing, we try to not get too late. You know what I mean? But we try to hang on as long as we can. But then we eat something, and but then we go to sleep, and then presents like on the following day.
When they kids wake
Santa
up.
only comes when everybody's asleep. So it's not when you are out of the house, it's
Right.
when we're asleep. So that's when Santa comes.
Gotcha.
Because, I had many times that my sister and I, and it was like, let's try and stay awake. Right? We could never, because we were kids, right? We fall asleep. That
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So we could stay awake to see Santa coming, and then we couldn't see it. And I think that's the other thing that I would might ask, but I'm going to answer that first. So I think I believed in Santa until I was like 10 years old.
I think I was about.
If I remember well, it's about 10 to 11 years old, and then but that's when I believed that Santa would come and bring the gifts instead of my dad putting it in there.
Right.
How about you?
I think I was about 10, and I think it was a friend who told me, and then I told my mom, and she brought me into my room, and she was like, no, it's just me and your dad. And I just started crying.
Oh.
I just was like, no, it's you guys. You lied to me this whole time. She's like, yeah.
I never had that reaction though. It's like,
Yeah.
they're being lying, and I was like, oh, so there's no Santa then. It says you guys. Yeah, we put the effort on it. It's like, I never really had that. Like, you've been lying to me. So I never really had that. I know that Americans, by the culture, this is like lying is something really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's not the case in Brazil.
no, every Brazilian lies.
But I think it's the thing of like, and Lucas is the same way. I think it might devastate him. I don't know. But like the innocence of it. Like, I was a very innocent kid, so I believed everything my mom and dad said.
Sure.
My mom and dad were idols of me. So for them to come out and be like, no, there's no Santa Claus, it was just us. It was like, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. That's tough.
But here I am, scarred and meant.
Life goes
And
on,
good.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
How about you?
I think I'm not like your average kid in that scenario. So the blueprint of all of that is maybe relatable for some. It's not very relatable. So.
But but how old were you that you realized that Santa didn't exist?
I don't know. It was really the least of my concerns at the time. My parents had just divorced. So I was... How old are you in second grade?
7, 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, Lily's 7 now, and she's in first grade, going to between 7 and 8.
Between 7 and 8. So I was probably 8 years old. I was in 2nd grade. My parents had just divorced, and I was moving here. 2 older siblings. I was the youngest of 3. And there's a lot of change happening in life.
Always the youngest would find out
Sooner.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the older one, when they found out, they just fell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a combination of that and then just like more stuff happening in my life where I was like, didn't care about Santa, I don't think, that year. I think I was just like frustrated with life. So I found out about Santa and I was just like, figures. Nothing's what it seems to
Whatever.
be.
Yeah.
Nothing's what it seems
It's not
to
that
be.
bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Life's worse than Santa. So, but again, life goes on. You know, I love Santa now.
Yeah.
Me and Santa are cool.
Yeah. I think it's such a good thing to keep that. For example, my oldest daughter she's 11.
Yeah.
And she still believes on
that's
Santa
awesome.
and the fairy that brings the
Tooth
money
fairy.
to exchange for teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes out of the mouth.
And that is sweet though.
Yeah.
You gotta hold on to that as long as you can.
Yes, and then she's still on that, and even though she's got like I have this crush on school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like all that starting, like how can you have that and then these?
Yeah.
It's like hold on, you gotta pick and choose.
But don't let it just naturally happen.
No,
I think-
we do it.
Yeah.
We do
You
it,
know
so.
what? I think when I finally have kids, I think the one thing I'm gonna tell them is like Santa only comes if you sleep in till like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Because I
That's
think
not
all
gonna work.
kids want to wake up at 6 o'clock, at the crack of dawn. They're so excited for the presents at 6 a.m. Like, let me sleep. Santa comes around 8 a.m. You got to sleep until 9, and then we'll open presents afterwards.
So, and I think that was what my mom and dad did, was they moved it to the Christmas
A little
Eve
later.
because we would wake up so early. My son already wakes up at like 5:30 in the morning.
He's-
5:36. Lucas, I've never met a kid who I'll be like, "Hey, it's 8 o'clock. You need to go to bed." And he's like, and he'll
Falls
just
asleep
fall.
immediately.
8 o'clock, he's passed out. But then 5:30, 6 o'clock, he's, hey, we're gonna go to school today, right? And I'm like, oh shit! I just woke up, man. But he's just an
You got a
early
job.
riser. So that's why I'm like, Christmas Day, I can't handle it. We're just gonna do
Do
a
it the night
Christmas
before.
Eve night. Yeah, we'll
That's a
stay
good
up late.
tradition, though, because y'all have done that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a fun one.
Yeah.
So let's get a little bit into history of Christmas. Do you have anything that you pull it up there for us to have a look at?
Well,
How it started and what it became and whatnot.
yeah, maybe though not so well known or potentially well known, depending on the viewers. Christmas is actually from the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms on Christmas. So as you can see, it's a red-capped mushroom with a white stem and a bunch of white dots on it, and it's known as the Amanita muscaria, and it provides a hallucinogenic experience that has led to the story of Santa Claus and St. Nicholas, and a guy coming down on a sleigh with reindeer and dressed up in red and white. Not as kid-like as you would think,
Yeah.
but interesting, and it actually makes a lot of sense. You probably have native people eating this kind of mushroom around this time of the year and seeing things. Let's see. Rituals were conducted that were guided by shamans who collected this mushroom, also called fly agaric, which has a powerful hallucinogenic property.
Jesus.
It's huge. Look at the size.
Oh, I mean, it's the size of like a softball, or bigger than a softball, probably. I mean, it's big. Let's see. The toxicity of the Amanita muscaria when ingested is high, so before taking it, they had to dehydrate them on branches of the pines. A second possibility was to put them in socks and spread them over the fire, an image that closely resembles the Christmas tradition of hanging Christmas foods over a chimney,
Yeah.
also known as stockings, Christmas stockings. So they would stuff them into the stockings and then roast them. Additionally, the reindeer were a great help in reducing the toxicity of the mushroom since they can eat it without suffering the effects of its venom. Thus, the urine of the animals was used since they had already filtered the harmful components of the mushroom, but which still maintained its hallucinogenic effects. So it would kind of dull it down a little bit.
Disgusting. They would drink it?
They would drink the deer pee that the deer had, ingested that. It's not too dissimilar from Latin American countries that take poop from jungle cats. And the cats would eat the coffee beans to make coffee. And the way that the coffee would digest through their system and then brew it, it makes a different type of coffee experience.
Yeah.
And we'll talk with George about that. I'm sure he's had cat shit before in a cup.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had ever heard of it. At the very least, he might not have tried it, but I feel like he might.
No, he knows about it.
He's a coffee connoisseur.
Yeah, he's definitely been to the jungle and bred that cat. And
so it's not too uncommon. It's a thing where I guess back in those days, it's like if you got something like a triple Ligero tobacco, you needed someone else to smoke it first, and then you eat their smoky shit. That's the equivalent of what's going on here.
I'm saying that because I'm having a triple Ligero today.
After the shaman had ingested the mushrooms or drunk the urine of the reindeer, also, not sure viewers at home may know this or not, reindeer is a real thing. Deer and reindeer are not the same thing.
No.
Up in northern regions,
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest especially. I actually have family in Alaska, so when we go to Alaska in the Anchorage Zoo, they have plenty of reindeer in the zoo there. They're a little bit different. They've got more like felty antlers and thicker. It's a different breed of deer completely. Reindeer is a real thing. They don't fly, but there are reindeer. And the shaman would drink their urine, and the hallucinations and reactions of it would begin. It makes you feel euphoric, happy, and a desire to sing. And everybody was real jolly. And that was kind of the creation of Christmas. All stemming from a mushroom.
That's
so the legend says.
Yes. So that, and what is the common that you've heard of
what Christmas really?
What Christmas came from?
That's a good question. As far as like the legend goes, it's just like old Saint Nick, right? It's just Saint Nicholas, and he wanted to give people presents, and probably the less fortunate kids,
Yeah.
But it's kind of, as everything goes, it probably starts off as one thing, and then the legend grows, and it grows, the population grows, and it's just turned into this, like, fantastical story of Santa Claus giving everybody presents. But I think it started off as, like, somebody that was giving back to the less fortunate.
So, I feel like this is a good origin story for a certain region.
Could be.
Right?
Yeah.
And, like, I can't say definitively if this was the exact origin of how Christmas and like the festivities and things happened. To me, there seems like some things are a little off. Like, no offense, but I'm not standing underneath the reindeer and collecting its piss to drink it to go on a trip, And then all of a sudden I see a fat man in a coat riding reindeer and stuff. I'm over exaggerating and I realize that I'm being playful.
Yes. But it's not about the timing that this would have taken place.
Right.
Probably would have been a little bit more normalized to do that sort of thing.
And
if it's real, I don't know that it's real.
Well, and I can see where, certain things came up, like, okay, the Christmas traditions and what we associate Christmas with of Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick, Santa Claus, reindeer. Like, why reindeer? Why not a moose? Why not just one single moose? Because they're like, a moose is way bigger than
Have you ever seen a moose in person?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen a moose in person? No.
Fill up this whole room.
Again, shout out Alaska. The first time I ever went to Alaska, a moose will blow your mind with the size of it. If you've never seen one and you've only just imagined what it looks like, it's the size of 2 horses put together, like height-wise and then length. I mean, it is a stout creature.
Your truck out there would probably be something somewhat equivalent to a size of moose.
Wow.
And they are huge.
Right.
And they're aggressive. They will
Yes.
stomp you out.
Yep.
You don't fuck with moose.
Reindeer are not as big. They're still big.
Yeah.
Reindeer are big, but they're not as big as a moose. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Is like, so the correlation with like the festive colors of red and white. I get that. The reindeer aspect of it, I can see that as a possibility. You know, that from that region. Santa Claus, I kind of am leaning towards more of the story of a person who would dress up and give gifts or give to the poor community.
Yes.
Is where I feel like Santa Claus. I almost feel like Christmas tradition is a conglomeration of many aspects coming together. You know.
Yeah. No, you're true. That's right.
Well, and like
It would have to be though.
it would have to
It'd
be.
have to
It would
be.
literally have to, because I mean, this is Native American, Pacific Northwest stuff with the magic mushroom, or
But what about the rest of the world? Kind of.
Well, this gets
engaging
into it
to
because
that?
this brings up Germany and Great Britain and Nordic and stuff
right.
like that.
So, and I was going to say there's a lot of reindeer in that area too. So,
So that's as the expansion of Santa Claus.
Yes. So if we go back up one line here, or a couple pictures, this is them explaining, the legend of it all. So let's start here and just see what we agree with or don't. The legend says that during their trips, the shamans managed to see the future of the community, and they could turn into animals and fly towards the North Star in search of knowledge to share with the rest of the people. At the end of their hallucinogenic experience, they would return to the group in their tent and met with the important men of the town to begin with the solstice ceremony, in addition to sharing their visions with the community. So I don't think that's too much different from like a ayahuasca experience, like a trip where it's like a tribal thing, where you take this hallucinogenic, you have some crazy experience, and then you come back to the tribe and talk about it.
Well, even at that, the Christianity belief of the three wise men followed the star to the stable where Mary gave birth to Jesus.
Because that's what I actually know about what Christmas is.
Christianity and Christmas
Is the three wise men coming and bringing the
gifts to the newborn baby.
But they followed the North Star.
Yeah, they follow the North Star, and then that's why the gifts are exchanged, because they brought in gifts
to the manger with Jesus, a newborn baby.
So it's a lot of storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many different storytelling.
But at the same time, I mean, with Christianity, a lot of it, like we were taught and we said before, Christianity tried to incorporate and bring together all types of different people. Like, oh, hey, you believe in a winter solstice. Oh, that was when our Jesus, this is when our God Jesus was born. What a coincidence! December 25th. Oh, that was his birthday. That was when he was born. And then when you see all the pictures and everything, the historical accounts of Jesus' birth, it's supposed to be in the springtime. Sometime.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's spring. It's not winter.
It's not. But the summer solstice festivities that like the Druids would partake in, or the other tribes would partake in, those type of celebrations, it just expanded and made it easier for Christianity to spread. If you would, hey, my God was born the same day that you guys celebrate it, like, hey, celebrate with us.
Let's do it
and then
do it together.
And then it became a Christianity type of thing, and you could weed out, push away those traditions. But the history of it is still kind of there.
I think Christmas has been adopted as more of a Christian holiday, right? Hanukkah,
Christ
is you got Kwanzaa. Nowadays, really, in the world that we live in, you can't just tell random people Merry Christmas anymore. What do you say?
Happy holidays.
You say Happy Holidays because you don't know what they celebrate. Yes. So you can't just say Merry Christmas anymore. But I think that makes this next section becomes more interesting to me about the expansion of Santa Claus. So over time, the shamanic archetype changed, and it's said that with the travel of Druids, this tradition spread to Great Britain. That's where I think it gets interesting, because we're getting out of Western culture, and Then, through cultural exchange, it was combined with Germanic and Nordic myths that related adventures such as those of Wotan, the Germanic god, Odin, his Nordic counterpart, and other gods, who, when traveling during the night of the winter solstice, were chased by demons in a sleigh pulled by an 8-legged horse.
Huh.
So those are tales told of Nordic times that have nothing to do with the stuff, but they find similarities and they tie it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was said that a trail of red and white blood fell from the sleigh, and that the horses
Christ.
frothed white foam to the ground, and that is where the amanita mushrooms would appear the following year.
Oh, I'll
So
be
the
damned.
froth of these fucking rabid 8-legged horses from the Nordic gods dropped these types of mushrooms that would make you see the Christmas spirit and stuff. That makes it more interesting,
Yeah.
right?
No, absolutely.
With time, Christianity related the Christmas tradition to the 4th century Turkish bishop Saint Nicholas of Bari, who also inspired the character of Santa Claus, since he used to give gifts to those in need, and especially to children, as we mentioned. The less fortunate. A cheerful, playful, and at the same time realistic Santa Claus was the commission that Coca-Cola gave the illustrator in 1931. Hence the current image of Santa Claus, red and white. Thus, the power of that mushroom has marked the history of Christmas until today. Everything with Christmas is riddled with red and white. And now you think of Christmas colors, red and white, green. Red and green are Christmas colors. But it goes all the way back into multiple cultures, not just Western civilization.
Right.
And they might have got there in different ways. Could have been an 8-legged horse, could have been a reindeer, the mushrooms, Coca-Cola. All this stuff is culminated into the same red and white. And we found a way to make it one big medley pot of, we'll all take it all in together. It's red and white. I don't know that I buy into the program, but I see how it got. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
To be honest with you, these actually tells. I mean, it's a very good article, though. We've shown this before,
Yes.
but it actually tells that no story is clear
It's not an
of
original.
one little thing. It's like too many things put together,
Yeah.
right, to create whatever storytelling that someone wanted to tell. And I think Coca-Cola is the one that actually made it all work,
I think they marketed the hell out of that.
because they had the money to market it out, and then they made it work. So it's unbelievable. It's a good tradition, though, right? So it gives you opportunity to celebrate something, if you believe it or not. But it gives that fantasy world
Yeah, I think it does.
for kids, that kids do live in a fantasy world, because they don't live in a world that has trouble, has problems.
They're
And
not.
they shouldn't.
At least
you gotta
on
preserve
a
that.
Yeah.
on a mid class to upper class, right? Because normally the really poor people live in a shitty world until somebody comes and do some sort of offerings like these Saint Nicholas
Right.
Barry did. And like also, there has to be a time of the year that somebody looks out for these kids that have nothing during the whole year. And the year now is gonna turn to the next year, and they never really got anything out of anything,
Yeah.
because they don't have any money, and the parents don't have anything. They just have to go to work.
That's
Right?
honestly really good insight. I remember growing up, single mom, middle class. We weren't so poor we couldn't put food on the table. I remember as a child, when we'd try and schedule like a trip or a vacation, she really wanted to take us to Disney World. And I remember telling her as like a 3rd or 4th grader, like, Mom, I don't even want to go because I know it costs too much money. 3rd and 4th graders shouldn't be thinking about that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be like, no, Mom, I don't want to go do this because you're
The
going to have to
financial
work.
stress.
You're going to have to work a month to save up half of what we need for you to go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like we worked for a whole year to go to Disney World, and it means a lot to you, and I really want to go, but it makes me feel bad putting that burden on you to work so hard.
Yeah.
That's just middle class. Think about
Yeah.
the kids that really are growing up
Really-
with nothing.
Yeah,
It's a completely different world, you know?
they wouldn't even know what going to the Disney World would mean.
No, they
Because-
don't. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's like, I don't even watch TV. You know what I mean?
What's a TV?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so that's tough.
And
It is.
and to that point, a little bit of like weird history too. Do you know what a pip is? Did you ever experience that in Great Britain?
A pip?
Pip.
Not sure
No.
I'm familiar.
It's an orange.
Okay.
No, I
Pip
didn't know
Pip
that.
Cheerio or anything like that.
I've heard Pip Pip
yeah.
Cheerio.
Yeah. So a pip is
An orange.
an orange. Christmas time, when the Brits, when the British Empire ruled or had expansions in Florida and the Caribbean and various other places, most times the best time to harvest oranges is around this time. And it would be exotic. It would be an exquisite present, a cheap present because it's a fruit. But they would pass out fruits to children, or an orange,
Okay.
and they would call it a pip. And so, like, have you ever seen
Become a
those?
present?
Yeah, it will. But have you ever seen those chocolate
I love
oranges?
them. I already knew you were going to say that. And you
Hit them open. Yeah.
Do
Have you
like,
ever seen that?
Do you like chocolate orange flavor?
I've seen it. Yeah. Yes, I've had it before, and it does taste good.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was like an interesting aspect of it. Is like, I mean, especially in like the 1700s to 1800s, the stress and the difficulties it was to be living in Europe and the UK at those times. I mean, it was just super difficult. And even as a child, you had child labor in the streets selling newspapers, trying to make any ends meet.
Get a penny, you know?
Exactly. To receive an orange, a simple fruit as an orange, was like a huge deal. So, oh, sorry, just a little interesting tidbit.
No, I like that.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I buy one of these for my friend every year because he loves chocolate oranges, and it's the Terry's brand. But you just smack it on a table and crack it open, and then you take one. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have a very heavy orange flavor, but it's orange and chocolate. And
I'm gonna try this year then again. I mean, I've had it.
yeah, you can get them on Amazon. You can get them at Target.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and get some. Yeah.
And they're good. They're good. That's another tradition kind of thing.
I was just gonna say that I forgot about that.
That is a traditional thing that I think I do every year.
Yeah.
I buy one for a friend every year, and we always eat it together. He lives in Colorado now, so I have to send it via Amazon to show up to his front door. But I send myself one too, and it's one of the things we enjoy together.
That's nice.
My fraternity brother, Alex.
Cheers.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers.
Got good taste in chocolate.
And beer.
And-
he put me on stouts.
Oh, there you go.
okay.
Right
Oh,
on.
he's the guy.
He's
that
the guy.
does that.
Good for him.
Yeah. Does that wrap up the Christmas talk?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
We talked about presents, the gifts, and then we talked about the time it happens, the food it happens, and then the history behind it. And we cannot put a word where it actually started because there's too many variances to that.
Too many different places.
And there's too many religions that would absorb that and take as their own. Because it's any storytelling, makes that way. So storytelling is actually a good subject.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any traditions that take you into the new year from Christmas? Any things that you do that
New Year's is something different. That
we'll cover next week?
yeah, we could talk about a little bit next week on that. But
Because there's a lull there, right? You know, it's like Christmas on the 25th, and then you got
it's 1 week
About a
later.
week.
Yeah, it's
We're going to the new year.
Yeah.
maybe that would be something good to talk about next week.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that next week. Was there ever a Christmas that you remember specifically, either like a present or a gift or anything that you were just like, yes, this Christmas is?
I got a bike when I think I was 9 years old.
See? Okay.
Yeah.
19.
So what is the
1964?
best Christmas gift that you ever got?
I have two. The first one was the first year I got a cell phone. I was a young kid. It's a big deal. You know, you get all excited about it. Because, especially my age, growing up, technology is just gone crazy, right? It's like the Razor flip cell phone was a big thing.
Is that what you got?
No, it
Oh,
was even earlier than that, before it went super big. But it's just everybody wanted a cell phone. I remember begging my parents, I wanted a cell phone. They're like, you don't need a cell phone.
Yeah.
Where are you at without me that you need a cell phone to call me? Like, well, sometimes y'all drop me off at music school, and then you leave and come back and pick me up. And, you know, what if it got out early or something? I need to call you. And for you to come there, like, yeah, that's bullshit. That's not. I'm like, please,
Just
give me a
wait in
phone.
the
So I'm
rain.
just waiting. It was middle school. I think I was in 7th grade. Finally. I'd gone to Beaumont, and my dad was the one that was going to get me a phone. And we did the whole Christmas, and I thought that I was going to get it the whole time. I opened every present, did not get a phone. And so it was just jolly old Dylan until I didn't get the phone. And then I was just sour, just like, so sad and disappointed. And we were moving on to like eating some food, and then all of a sudden there's just a phone ring, like a ringtone. And everybody stops, like the house pauses because everybody was in on it but me. And what's that? Anybody hear that? Hear the noise? I'm just like all sad, like perking up. Is there a cell phone? And like all of a sudden, like, what's? There's still one box over here that wasn't open. It's making a noise. There's a box making a noise. And they came over and like shaking it. And it's calling it. It's making a ringtone. And they opened it up, and it was my first phone.
Oh, that's
and I
nice.
was just like, I thought I didn't get it, and it's like the whole experience was awesome.
That's cool.
And it was in the day and age where cell phones were still kind of like, it was a big thing to have a cell phone. I feel like nowadays everybody has an iPod or an iPhone that probably on Wi-Fi can call somebody, but it's still a big deal, you know, to little kids. We take it for granted as adults.
Yeah.
We call everybody at any given moment. But that was a huge deal. That was like a super special Christmas present. And then the second one was one year, I remember Guitar Hero was a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Single mom, had to do stuff herself. So Guitar, it was kind of expensive.
Was that 2010?
Around that time,
Yeah.
it was. I think it was Guitar Hero 3, but it was the package that came with the guitars and all this stuff for like Wii or something.
Yeah.
So it was expensive, you know.
You have the battery set?
No, it was just the guitars.
The drum.
That would have been like
the drum
I don't think that was like Rock Band.
Oh, that was Rock Band, yes.
Rock Band, and that came after because at the time Rock Band came after. Guitar Hero had no drums, and that's what when I went to music school and stuff, I did it for drums. I was a drummer, and so that would have been really cool. But she got.
He does not look like a drummer. Usually a drummer is like 50 eyebrow piercings, neck tattoos that say "face fuck me until tomorrow."
Yeah.
That's a drummer.
No, it sounds fun to me, but no, I didn't. I didn't get any of the tattoos.
Okay.
But not.
No, Guitar Hero was nice, man. It was
Yeah.
But she was like hiding it in the garage so that we wouldn't find it. And me being like a snoopy little kid, I found it, and I couldn't help myself but tell my sister and like tell you like, "Mom got me Guitar Hero. I found it." She told on me, and so my mom was like, "I'm gonna take it back. You found it. You think you're gonna find a Christmas present early? I'm gonna take it back, and you're not gonna get it." I was crying. I was just absolutely gutted.
Yeah.
And then come Christmas morning, she didn't take it back, and I got it.
Guitar
And
Hero
just
was
like I never even knew it existed, I was just like, oh, so excited. So those were the most memorable Christmas presents I can think of today, where it was just like I could not keep my emotion in, and I tried really hard to do that. So those were two things that were just like extra
That's
special
cool.
at
That's
the time,
nice.
you know.
Yeah.
And it gives you a buzz right now, right? Just
Yeah.
remembering it,
The nostalgia.
yeah. What about you, Konrad?
There was one time that we had a shared experience. Obviously, we were a little bit older, but when the first Xbox came out, we wanted to play. My brother and I wanted to play Halo,
Mm-hmm.
and so we got that from Santa, i.e., my mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What are we getting for Santa this year?" An Xbox. You guys been good. All right. But that was really cool because it was like our first kind of shared present, and we do that now. Like this year, we're getting a foosball table. Which, by the way, podcast is going to be in the garage. The garage is going to be set up
Yeah, let's do
nice,
it.
so we can be smoking cigars, play ping pong, play foosball. It's getting
Football
set
is
up.
good.
It's getting set up, boys.
Indy flooring?
Not yet.
I know a guy.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking to Hilton. I'm not talking to you. You told me you should upsell everything.
Loyal to the company.
Yeah.
He charged the right amount, and I just charged less. I charged less, but he actually did the right one.
Yeah, he does the right
I'm the
one.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's always good prices for friends and family.
Yeah. No, I know. You did to that caveat too.
For how long did you play that Xbox when you got it?
Oh, I mean, until it finally broke, and then
Gave
by
it the
that
red
time,
ring of death.
yeah, the red ring of death, and then the Xbox 360 came out, and then it was like,
Got that.
and then my mom was like,
Your
I'm
re-up.
not spending another like $500, $400 on
Those
it.
consoles are expensive, man.
They're super expensive.
Yeah,
But-
my Christmas. We were on mid class, so we didn't really have much money. We would get like.
Hold on. Sorry, I wasn't
Okay.
finished.
Okay, sorry.
That was the first like shared one, but the one that was to me, you had mentioned it before, was I got a giant mountain bike for Christmas. I still have that thing. It's like 25 years old.
You too?
Original brakes, original wheels on it.
The tires?
Yeah. I don't know how that thing can carry my fat ass, but I took it down. I went with my friends who have like the full suspension, like full setup, like really nice mountain bikes. I took it to Spider Mountain and just bombed the downhills, just flew down it.
Took it like it was nothing?
And people were looking at me like, what are you riding? I mean, they're fully decked out and they have
All
these
this modern gear and
super
stuff.
nice, like full flex and rear suspension,
Carbon
front.
fiber.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this thing's like 25 years old, and they're just like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just bombing down. I still have it to this day,
That's awesome.
and one of the best bikes that I'm just gonna keep
You'll
it
ever
forever.
have.
Yeah,
At
there's
this
no
point, yeah.
there's no need for me to get another bike.
Yeah.
It's held up this long,
Wow.
and it's still.
That's cool.
I need new brakes. I'll be honest. It's starting to be a little hard to brake
I
on
can
it.
just
take it
change
to
the
a,
rubber in it.
Maybe you could take it to like a local Austin shop and
Oh
just put some new brakes
yeah.
on.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, they
That's
just put
inexpensive
some
too.
Yeah, it's definitely $100 fix. I mean, that's.
Maybe- Less than that.
Maybe cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could keep that
Less.
bike going forever.
Oh yeah. No, I plan on it, but
That's awesome.
that was my. You had said it before, and it brought back that memory of like that's been the best. Christmas
Yeah,
present.
because we didn't have much money, so my dad, right? So and then, but when I got a bike for Christmas, and then next day on Christmas Day, I rode it from 8 a.m. Of course, I'm talking the 80s here, right? So and I was about 10 years old.
78, you mean?
86.
Ah!
I'm just kidding.
So it was 78 was my sister was being born, and I was 2. And then I was
Maybe not.
I was about 10 years old, and then I got that Christmas present, which was a bike, a BMX, and I rode from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh god.
the whole day on top of that bike.
Yeah.
I came to the house to eat and whatnot, and then came back, to the street, and then
Tipped out.
there was no cars on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember the next day I couldn't sit because the bones of my ass was hurting so much
Oh yeah.
because of the BMX seat.
Yeah.
And but I rode that thing for 12 hours, and I couldn't get on the bike for a week.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
I only. Hey, motherfucker.
That's not even what I meant. That was a genuine pattern.
Okay. That every single kid goes through. Yeah, I see.
No, you took it there.
Yeah, I took it the wrong way. Anyways. Well, I'm not the gay one.
I'll tell you after. No, I am the gay one. It runs in my family. It's in my blood.
But I'm telling you, it hurt. I only drove that bike on next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't touch it again for that long?
I couldn't.
You
I
couldn't?
tried.
Your ass hurt that bad.
Yes, I had to ride it like
Standing up?
Yeah, and then like that's too tiring, and then I couldn't because I couldn't sit down on the seat of the bike. I could sit down on other type of chairs and whatnot, but on the bike I just couldn't. It would just hurt so much. But I rode it for 12 hours straight.
I believe it.
Yeah,
That
and
was
it's
the year you knew you just...
the same thing. I mean, I have these thing with the 12 hours, which is actually what you meant about the end of the game.
Yeah, the game. You knew what I meant about GTA, right?
Yeah. I get this thing when I get something that I get so excited about. I'm get down to it, like really hard on it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, was that the year you knew you just could not be gay?
Probably, yeah. So this is not for me.
Yeah, same for me.
Jesus Christ.
This life is not for me.
This guy, man, this guy. Okay.
I meant the GTA thing. Like, when he gets into something, he'll do it for 12 fucking hours, and then he's like, "Oh shit, it's been 12 hours."
Yeah, just
my fingers are bleeding, guys.
My asshole's bleeding. My fingers are bleeding. He does anything until he can't do it anymore.
Oh man, that's unbelievable. Should we do our football thing?
I think that takes us into our...
Well, let's first have a little stop for a bathroom, a pit stop.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be a great idea.
We'll be back. The battle of the logos, gentlemen. I put some more wine on it.
I just saw that.
Cheers.
Popped a beer, but I got more wine. Battle of the Logos.
Okay, so
Last week. Let's do a quick recap of last week.
Okay. So
Last week.
bring the
Yeah,
camera in
of
here.
last week.
Last week was an interesting one. We always think we know what's going to happen. We don't. Who was the winner of last week?
George.
He's not here. He didn't even send us our Week 16 picks. So,
He did not.
he didn't send them. This is our last call. This is when the bar's about to close. You need to pay your tab. Hilton, give him a ring. Tell him.
No, it's okay.
This is his last call. I think it's very symbolic. Last call. He can give us his picks, or he can't. He's going to forgo this week. Wouldn't make much of a difference because he's foregone the previous 14.
I'm gonna tell him he has got 3 seconds.
But I've tried to give you an opportunity, George, because I'd like for you to get an opportunity to do this, but I understand life happens. We get busy.
Set your goddamn priorities straight, my friend. It's the battle of the logos.
Week 15 champion should want to return and do something good for Week 16. But
I said, like, you got 3 seconds to send your picks.
All right.
He might be out of because it's not even sure that it's been delivered to him. So I guess he's having a more interesting night than we are.
Hey, if he's busy, he's busy. I get it, but
Well, he can still send it in late, I guess, before Thursday if he wants to count that one. Or is this final call locked in? If you don't make it to the show.
Yeah, if
we are recording one day early.
But never mind. I mean, we won't be able to talk about his picks. We can talk
that's
about
true.
whatever his picks were.
Yeah.
But then just say he scored so many points, but we won't be able to talk about it because we are going to be talking about ours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, deadline's like Thursday before the Thursday night game starts. Otherwise, it's invalid.
Invalid.
Delete.
All right, Thursday night primetime game. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Lakers. Both teams are 7-7. Both teams are fighting for a playoff position. What do we think?
Oh, he texted back.
Can we FaceTime him?
No, he just texted back. So let's see
He's having some
what
edible
he's gonna say.
Is he doing them one by one?
He's saying Rams.
This fucker. All right. George, you're killing me.
Go. He's saying Rams.
Rams, Bengals, Chargers, the Coltsy, Packersy,
I'm saying Saints.
Saintsy. You're gonna say Saints?
Well, unless you have something to talk about it. I like the Saints logo better.
It is Battle of the Logos, so logos, you're Saints.
Yeah, I'm Saints.
What do you think, Konrad? It's not too late to change after I talk about it too. Not every game deserves a talking point. Some games do deserve a talking point. And Hilton and I, just to fill you in, actually did spend about 15 minutes earlier today going, maybe even 20 minutes, We went over basically
Maybe
every.
45 minutes.
There's no way it was 45. Unless I'm just really into it and time flew by for me and it went slow for him.
I had things to do, and it's like, man.
Fuck off. That is not the truth.
I cannot do my thing.
He's sitting here trying to work, and I'm like, I
had to do some work, and he keeps on going about football.
Bullshit. I can't even work because all you do is ask me about the NFL.
I actually don't want to ask
You're asking
me.
And then I did like one little talking point about it. Well, what about this division? What about? And then we both got into it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
It could have been 30
there you
minutes.
go.
25 minutes.
It could be 25 to. It could be a maximum of 40. I feel like it's 25, 30 minutes.
Right.
Maximum. We went through all the divisions. We went through all the teams that really needed to put on a performance. Every team has 3 games left, right? So we found the teams. We found the 3 games they had left, their matchups, and like, wow, this team really needs to do something. This team doesn't have to do much. We did all that.
Right.
So out of all that we did, both the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams / Lakers need this win. Both of them.
They are all like tied in 7-7.
So the
on their
Saints
division.
are NFC South, and they are all it's 8-6, 8-6, 8-6, and then 7-7 Saints. No, it's 8-6, 8-6, 7-7, and then they also have the Panthers, which are like
2-10.
2-10. Yeah, exactly.
So
there's 3 fighting for it. It's the Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers, and they're 7-7. Falcons, Buccaneers, I believe, are 8-6. Falcons might be 7-7 too, but they're all close. They're all within like one game of each other. Every game for them matters. Rams are the NFC West.
Yes, our division.
So their only hope is to find the wild card because they're not gonna. There's no world that exists where they win the division over the Niners.
No.
So,
but they're also.
If they win every single game,
they're a game ahead over the Seahawks.
Seattle.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is they won't win the division, but they are battling for a wild card, similar to Seattle. So this game fucking matters. This game matters. Derek Carr, I believe, is playing for the Saints. I also believe Matthew Stafford is playing for the Rams. If you look at defenses, wide receiver core,
Rams.
It's a pretty even matchup, but I am leaning Rams.
I'm leaning Rams too. I still can't believe the Saints are actually 7-7. I've seen games where they played fantastic, in my opinion, and then other games where they just they couldn't beat a college football team.
Is that your pick?
Rams, yeah. I'm going to go Rams.
Are you going to stick with the Saints?
Yes, because a better logo.
Okay. And George's pick was the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. We're moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Blinders. I really and truly believe that
I already told last week I'm not picking the Blinders anymore.
Okay, I think they're frauds. The Blinders are frauds.
100%
The
frauds.
Blinders are frauds.
Mitchell Trubisky is dumb.
They are probably the worst 7-7 team that's out there. Kenny Pickett's out. You got Trubisky. Jake Browning with the Bengals has been humming. I'm with the Bengals.
Same
Bengals. Tigers and those George's
So we have
Bengals.
a Bengals sweep.
So which means that the Blinders will win. I mean, it's B&B, Blinders and Bengals.
Here's a little tidbit for last week. Out of all 16 games, I believe we had 6 sweeps. 4 of those we got correct.
And 2 we got wrong.
2 we got wrong.
Oh, we're okay then. We're okay.
From week to week, it changes.
We're about like 10% right.
No, it's really closer to 50-50 now as the season has progressed. It was starting off very one-sided, getting it wrong. Then it had switched to very one-sided, getting it right, minus a few. So if it started here, ended here, minus a few, we're kind of like just under 50%. We're probably 40%. So it's not a for sure loss.
Okay.
But like I said last week, when we all picked the Cowboys, and I'm like, fuck you guys, now we're going to lose. We did.
Yeah.
I should have switched to the Bills. Where we really struggle is Monday night sweeps. If we sweep a team on Monday night, we're screwed.
It's a loss.
And guess what? We were this close to sweeping the Eagles, except for having a Seahawks fan as a residency. Had we swept the Eagles,
we have lost.
We would have all have lost. So it was the one guy that was a Seahawks diehard that broke the streak for no other reason than
There's a little dancing there and some moves.
So,
Okay.
there's your tidbit. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Chargers. I can tell you this
Buffalo.
right now. If Buffalo loses, they're out.
Doubt.
They have to win this game, and Justin Herbert's out. Chargers haven't looked great. It's got to be Buffalo. It's
But the Chargers did just get rid of their head coach.
what happened to the
He's not-
Panthers? What happened to the Panthers?
True.
You got that wrong.
We all
This is
got
the
that
year.
No.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah,
year.
You were the
that
only person
any,
who picked the Panthers.
Yeah,
any
that's fine.
tradition it gets broken.
So,
Like, for example, there's not going to be any
Is Georgie
Christmas. His Bills.
for you, Bills,
I'm Bills.
we have another sweep.
I'm Bills.
But I was just saying that the Chargers did get rid of their head coach, so
They did.
it could be a possibility. Stats are out there.
Are you not a Brandon Staley fan?
No,
Okay. The stats are out there. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
it could be a possibility. But
This game, I just think. Do you want to play the Bills in December?
no, absolutely not.
That doesn't mean they're going to win, but nobody wants to play that. They're a good team.
They're on
late.
fire. They're on fire, and
That's why they're 8-6. They started off really. I think I've said this. If we go back and run the tape, this whole season, I've said the whole time, I cannot believe that the Bills are a 5-7 team. That they're a this and this team, and slowly but surely they're starting to
come back.
come back. So if they can win out, they will end up, 9, 10, 11, and 6, which isn't too far off some of the other teams that have been doing well. They have a chance. I don't see it. All right, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Atlanta Falcons. Road game for the Colts. I still feel like they might. I don't know. Falcons have come off a couple of hard losses though, and they are battling to stay in the NFC South.
I'm a Bird supporter, so I'm. Even though the stat says 6 and 8, I'm gonna go with the logo and the bird. Falcons for me.
Before we jump into our two picks, what did Georgie take?
George did the Colts.
George took the Colts. I myself am going to take the Colts on the
Same
road.
here. Same here.
I just think they have that tenacity. They have Minshew. Garner Minshew on the road has been spectacular. And ever since Atlanta got rid of Dobbs, they haven't been the same.
Yeah. Falcons are a very bipolar team. One week they play really well, and next week they couldn't beat a Pee Wee team.
And I think I'm always behind because I watched them do good on a week I picked against them.
Yep.
So the next week I pick them, they
And
lose.
They lose.
And then the next week I'm like, oh, they lose, they suck, I'm not going to pick them. Then they win.
Yep.
And so I'm always one behind. So based off of that, Hilton will get this one right. But it is what it is. We have the team of the people, the Green Bay Packers, at the Carolina Panthers.
Everybody is gonna go with Packers.
I mean, it might be a good week for you to take the Panthers. Based off what we saw earlier in the NFC North, it is a battle. It is the Packers. The Lions have the clear advantage, but it's the Packers versus the Vikings. The Packers have to win this game if they want to make it to the playoffs, and I think they're going to play with an energy level that you have not seen yet. Carolina Panthers can't even sell out their stadium at a home game. They've lost too many times. Fans aren't even showing up.
Yeah, no, it's the Packers for everybody. I mean, it's the Packers for George, and team of the people logo there.
Doesn't it make you
It's
nervous?
not that great, but
Does that not
it
make
has
you
the
nervous?
the three colors. The rims.
I'm trembling. I don't like it when we do this because this is one of those games that could go either way.
No, I mean, I've picked the Packers so many times before, and I'll stick with that.
What frustrates me about this game is that it means nothing to Carolina.
Oh yeah, and they're
But
the
they
ones
might
that.
still find a way to win.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're eliminated. There's no chance they make it. They are literally officially eliminated. It means nothing to them.
So they're gonna try like running an offensive play that nobody's ever seen before, and it's gonna score like 50 touchdowns, and it's just gonna make no sense.
It'll be one of those games where I've told Hilton about this before.
Should watch. It's a game to watch.
We're getting into the point of the season where the teams that have been eliminated obviously have nothing left to lose, and their pure joy comes from making sure their opponent doesn't get it. That's
Yeah.
all they can. I know I'm not going to make it. All I can do is take you with me.
So
Yeah.
You're coming to the off season with me.
Yeah.
You put Packers on your name, so
I picked the Packers.
I picked the Packers. Yeah.
We're all taking the Packers. That doesn't mean it's a shoo-in. If you're gambling at home, gamble responsibly. 'Cause that could be a really weird game. This is a fucking tough game. You have the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans, 9-5, 8-6. They could be the same record. Texans really need this win in the AFC South. They need Jaguars to lose. They need to win. They need the Colts to lose. Very tight division in the AFC South. There's 3 teams sitting at 8-6 right now. All the division in that division is going to happen from this week. You're going to see teams go up and go down.
Yep.
This is a very fucking tough game. Is CJ Stroud back?
Playing. Don't know.
This is an asterisk game.
CJ Stroud plays for
The Texans. This is an asterisk game that I'm going to write down next to my pick, and it's fair game for everyone to do the same. If CJ Stroud is playing, and this is in lieu of being able to look it up. For everybody watching, today is Tuesday, and this game isn't happening until Sunday. So between today and Sunday, regardless of if
many things would happen. Yeah.
we could look it up right now, and it could say CJ's planning to play or that he's not planning to play, and then he does. I don't know.
Or
So I'm putting an asterisk, and I'm going to say if CJ Stroud is starting and playing, I'm going to take the Texans. If he doesn't start and play, I don't want the Texans. I would take the Browns.
But what are you saying right now?
That is what I'm saying. It's my caveat because it's Tuesday and there's no way we can know who starts.
Can you have like a flip before the start of the game?
No, that's why I'm putting an asterisk. I mean, we can make whatever rules we want, but I'm just saying for everybody. That's what I want to do.
Because George is picking the Browns.
That's why I wanted to have a phone call. Because this week, I'm telling you, there's so much unknown and we're recording early. So how do you feel about an asterisk of whether or not Stroud is playing or not? Because if we all play on the same field, I will take the asterisk away. But if we all want the asterisk, we can play with the asterisk.
No, I'm going Texans, and I don't. I have no asterisk, whatever.
So
Asterisk.
I'm not saying that I cheated, but I did look up if CJ Stroud was going to.
That's not cheating, by the way.
Okay.
I hate that the narrative is that is it's not cheating.
Okay.
No, everybody looks at the stats before they play.
Well, but
Hands,
we brought it. We brought
It's
it up.
common knowledge.
Yeah.
And again, this is a Tuesday. They're not playing for like 5 more days. It could change.
So it can change. So the status as of today is CJ Stroud is unlikely to play against Sunday. Still in the concussion protocol. So with that being
you
said,
taking the Browns?
I really want the
With a
Texans to
fucking
win.
asterisk, but I can't play the asterisk.
I really want the Texans to win because I do like them.
That's what I might cross this out for the second time. I want the Texans in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have been a fun team to watch.
And I really like that head coach. I really just want to see him.
D'Amico
continue
Ryan
to see-
deserves it.
Yeah.
The Browns, okay.
The
That's
Browns
how
have been playing well, though.
They have been.
Can I throw up?
Every time that we go like, no, they're going to lose this game, and then they win.
Who have they lost this season? At the very beginning of the season, Nick Chubb broke his knee in the wrong direction. Deshaun Watson, who was supposed to be their franchise quarterback that they paid hundreds of millions of dollars to come in and take over the franchise, is not fucking playing because he's injured. They've gone through
Well, it's just
so
defense.
much. The O-line, though, they're literally running on almost third string across the board. Their whole O-line is none of them are starters.
Yeah.
And the defense has held up. They're the most resilient team in the NFL, in my opinion. They've had so many people injured, and they've still found ways to fucking win. Granted, they're 9-5. They're not 10-3 or 10-4 and 11-3. But have found. I think I'm taking the Browns.
I'm after you said all that, I'm gonna go on the second thought
Yeah?
because that shows character.
They have dealt with.
So the Browns for me, please change that.
I will change it. But I don't say that so that you change your vote. I'm just saying they have gone through all kinds of adversity.
No, just going back
all season long.
Going back on our picks, every time that we said like, no, the Browns are gonna win, they suck, and then they win that freaking game.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And then when it's an easy game, and then they lose, but
it's Joe Flacco. It's Joe Flacco on the road against apparently not C.J. Stroud. I know it's a home game in Houston, but Houston might inevitably fumble the ball here in the playoffs like they're known for doing. And it's fucking Joe Flacco in a team that has found a way to win the important games all season long. And a lot of the times late in the fourth quarter.
And I'm going with the Browns. That's where I'm going with the Browns.
it's gonna be a Brown sweep then.
He
With
is
an
as well.
asterisk on you. Oh, you took the asterisk out?
If y'all aren't playing an asterisk, I'm not going to play an
I'm
asterisk.
not playing asterisk.
I
Well,
brought it
well-
up as a caveat that we could all choose, but if we're all going to say, fuck it, I don't need the asterisk.
Okay, Browns for everybody.
Lions versus Vikings. This is going to be one of the toughest picks for Hilton this week, and I think I might let him lead off.
Man, this is...
That is the toughest pick of Hilton.
These are
right
his
there.
two teams.
Yeah.
So I have three teams with the Land Rovers, the Vikings, and the Lions, and
Vikings need it way more than the Lions
they
do,
they really need it.
but that doesn't mean they're going to win
No.
at all.
My Lions here might be not as good as the Lions. I mean, I like the Lions.
Same.
Same, I'm voting the Lions.
And so probably George as well. Let me see here. Lions for George.
So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sweeps.
So far in what, 6 games?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 of 7. We've all been the same way. That is concerning.
Yeah.
We're about ready to see what we're made out of, gentlemen.
We have the 4-10 commies at the 5-9 Jets. The Jets were just eliminated from the playoffs this past game after the loss.
Aaron Rodgers says he's not coming back.
Even though he's been trying so hard, the Commanders also...
Did the Commanders win last week?
They did not. They lost, but they played a good game.
At the end, when they got rid of Howell.
Well, and so that's a big conversation where Sam Howell has been the conversation. He potentially could be their new franchise quarterback, and then he didn't have a great game. They put him on the bench, pulled someone else in, and he started scoring.
Yeah.
So it really makes Howell look bad in that particular game. I don't know. Who do they start? I don't care. Who do they start? Do they start Howell? Or what's his name? Who's the guy that was behind Howell?
Brisket.
Jacoby
Brisket.
Jacoby
The
Brissett.
barbecue. Okay, so and who's that the place for? The Jets?
The Commanders.
The Commanders?
I've
So-
taken the Commanders over and over and over and over and over.
The
And I've lost 10 times.
barbecues.
Barbecues.
I don't know, man.
I'm going Jets. I'm going Jets. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm going.
What's George taking?
He's probably taking the Jets. Let me see. Jets for him. I'm going the Commanders.
Same.
You going Commanders?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place on that game. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans.
Who do you think, Jordan? I mean,
Who do you think?
no. The screen went out a little bit. But
Konrad.
Konrad,
Yes.
who do you think George picked?
Well,
I think I know who he picked.
I know who he picked.
I think I know who he picked.
well, let's see how good of a friend he is. First off,
No.
is he a bird supporting podcast friend?
We're trying to bring him into our podcast to be a bird supporter,
Yeah.
but he hasn't been very supportive of birds.
You have one chance to get it right. If you get it wrong, and I know that we have it right, who do you think he picked?
I'm thinking he heard the stories about me being a Seahawks fan, and he's going to pick the Seahawks. Really?
You
picked
got
the
it wrong.
Titans?
He went with the Titans.
I know this because every time he comes on the show, he says, "I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to pick against your favorite team." That being said, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks.
No, I'm a bird supporter, and birds for me, and I should have got the birds last week, and I'm sorry that I didn't.
It's okay.
Instead of the birds, you picked the other birds, which should have been dominant. And to be honest, I genuinely felt like if I picked the Seahawks, it was going to jinx you. And I felt like it was in everybody's bet. It was in my best favor for the Seahawks to win.
Right.
For the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you wanted the Seahawks to win, actually.
Desperately.
He spoke the whole day. He's like, oh, the Seahawks has to win.
Ultimately,
Seahawks has to win.
Desperately, I needed them to win.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I had to pick against them so that life would... So they could win.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
I will take the Seahawks this week, though.
He's such a gentleman.
Thanks for the wine. You know, that's,
he fell on his own sword to make sure that, it worked out for him.
Yeah.
What can
so
you say?
what we have now? Oh,
This should be a good
the
game.
Jacksonville Land Rovers.
You know my pick.
At the
Buccaneers. Well, I'm gonna go Land Rovers. And George is going Land Rovers.
I'm going to go Bucks.
Dylan's going Bucks.
Well, my friends, the Jaguars have lost a few games in a row.
Yeah.
Buccaneers have won a few games in a row. I don't think they have it. Taking the Land Rovers.
Huh.
All right. Okay.
You're splitting us up.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong because we only have 3 weeks left for Konrad to make a miracle happen.
Is the Buccaneers on your division or no?
No. They're in the
NFC
South.
Okay.
No. He just needs to get more picks correct than we do.
Yeah, because last week we still scored one less point than me and Dylan.
Yeah, I know.
And we all got there in different ways.
Yeah.
it was
We tied, but we got there in such a different fashion.
Yeah. We got it so differently.
Yeah. No, I picked some one-offs that, looking back, I'm like, really? I picked that team? But, it is what it is.
Every week when we finish and I go back and look at it, I say to myself, this is the week where I get every single game wrong, except for the Cowboys.
I thought I was going to score like 3 because I went for logos every single time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the one that I actually didn't score a point because it was against your team because they had like such a great record.
You feel confident about that game.
Yeah, and that's the one that I was like, oh, I'm getting the Eagles right, and then they lost. You know. And to be honest, I'm really happy that they lost. You know what I mean? It's because it's against you.
It seems to be a very common theme that everyone picked against my team, and then
they're happy in the end.
But they were rooting for me for the Seahawks to win. So
we want to score the point.
Decision.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
no,
not.
I know.
We want to score the point in the pick, so then we don't score the points. Like I'm so happy.
It's like the week he picked against the Cowboys. He said, "You know what? Maybe I shouldn't have."
Yeah.
And then next week, in spite of them, I'll pick them.
Yeah.
However,
hey, it's whatever.
You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
You really don't know.
Which brings us to this fucking game.
No, this one is no. I do not support that bird.
We have the Arizona Angry Birds at the Chicago Bears. He's a Chicago fan. He went there this year.
Yes, I'm a Chicago. That's my it's my wild card.
That's your wild card pick.
Wild card pick, which is the Bears, and
Bears. And that's who you're going with.
Yes. And it's George.
And it's George. I'm afraid that George is looking at the records and he just chooses the team with the better record every time.
Yeah, he's doing that.
Which doesn't...
No, apart from the Titans. He got the Titans with a less of... because he's playing home.
With who?
It's too close of a call.
Who?
The Seahawks.
Yeah. It has,
Seahawks have
Titans it's over there. It's a 5-9. Titans has 5-9.
That's the only one he's...
He went Titans...
Why?
No, because he's playing at home. Maybe he doesn't say why.
They just got exposed against Houston.
Well, but I think he's only going against Konrad. I think.
Yeah.
They got their
Good for him.
pants pulled down. They got their pants pulled down in public, and he's still voting for him.
Well,
Darn. I know he sided with the pedos.
And by the way, it's not Titans, it's Teslas.
Oh, the Teslas, yeah.
You're right. You got me there. Okay. Shoot, man. I think I might take the Arizona Cardinals.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. I thought I was going to be the only one. Yeah, I'm going to be the Cards also.
Really?
Really? Do you
I like their run
Do you want a
game.
second thought?
No, I don't.
Dallas Cowboys at the Miami Dolphins.
This is hard. This
Man.
is hard.
I mean, New York Cowboys, of course. Do you know who George speaking?
He's probably picking the Dolphins.
He's picking the Dolphins.
I'm sorry, George, but
I'm picking the Cowboys.
it's the wrong pick, my friend.
And I like Dolphins,
Yeah.
but
They make good vibration.
I'm picking the Cowboys.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys in this also. I think their defense is too
It
strong.
will not hurt my feelings if you pick against them, just so you know.
No. I think.
Cowboys needs to win so bad.
Well, I think Tua has been playing consistent.
Dolphins doesn't really need to win as bad as the Cowboy needs.
Oh yeah,
Because
they've
it's a
wrapped up
tougher
that
division.
Yeah.
What did I tell you this morning, though?
Does he tell you lots of things or little things? That you
I about what? Just, he was a 25 to 30 minutes thing.
The Cowboys clinched a playoff spot, even though we
Oh, yeah.
lost to the Buffalo Bills. So we could actually lose out for the rest of the season and still be
And still be-
guaranteed at least the 7th spot. Whereas Miami is going to have this game against us. I think they have one other tough game, and then they play the Bills. So the next 3 games, 2 of the 3 are for sure tough games. Maybe all 3. They have a tough slate the next 3. So I think they're going to come out in this game and try and win as bad as they can.
No. They will try. The problem is, it's the same. Remember the game between you two guys that I got? I picked a tie, right? Both teams wanted to win so much. The thing is, with the Dolphins, what's going to
Cowboys
happen?
will want to win more.
No, it's not that. It's like the Dolphins. If they make one mistake, the Cowboys, it doesn't seem to be making those mistakes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
Like
also-
the Seahawks made a mistake, and I think the Cowboys, if they make a mistake, the Cowboys will just hammer down.
We're also playing in Miami, so Cowboys are on the road.
But and the Cowboys have not been playing well on the road.
Correct. Which has been a storyline this season. The way we play at home versus on the road has been miles apart. Has been a problem.
They could
for
have
the
a little
coach.
rest though.
And it's warm weather. I mean, it's Miami, so it's not
not a big
going to
deal.
be cold like Buffalo or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Basically, all I'm doing is giving you an out for 5 more seconds, and then we move to the next
No,
game.
I'm in Texas.
We
I like
have the
Cowboys.
New England Patriots at the piece of shit, terrible, worst Denver Broncos, one of the worst teams in the league. That
Let me
You know
see.
what? And you know what? Honestly, I feel really bad for Russell Wilson. I don't know if you saw it, Hilton, but Sean Payton, the head coach for the Broncos, the Broncos scored 3 touchdowns, but kind of like the Seahawks-Cowboys game, there was always a penalty to bring it back.
Yep.
And then they finally just had to kick a field goal to score points. And Sean Payton was screaming, the head coach of the Broncos was screaming at Russell Wilson, the quarterback. And Russell Wilson standing there like, dude, I've done every fucking thing you told me to do. Like, what are you doing screaming at me? So, at first, I hated Russell Wilson for the way that he was playing. He hasn't been playing that well. And now, Dylan, who has been, I hate Sean Payton, is really rubbing off
I'm
on
rubbing
me
off on you a little
because
bit.
I hate the fact of him.
Sorry.
I just do not like the way Sean Payton handles this stuff.
I agree. So I would like to, on the record, say, even though I did lead this off as the Patriots first, the worst fucking team in the fucking league, the piece of shit fucking Denver Broncos. It's not the Broncos, it's Sean Payton.
It's Sean Payton, 100%.
Head coach of the team. Maybe he's heading the culture. I don't know. I don't hate Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson.
Right.
I think the Broncos have some good guys on the team. It's Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I just don't like the guy.
He's
I
not
liked him when he was in New Orleans, but even in New Orleans, he was a part of the the whole scandal with the defense, like headhunting. Do you remember that coming out?
Yeah.
There was a time like in the early late 2000s, before 2010, like 2008, 2010 region. He was like, they were incentivizing players like, we will give you bonuses if you injure people on the other team. Headhunt.
Oh,
When you go to tackle them, hit them as hard as you can in the head, kick them out of the game, $20,000 for you in the game. Like, they were giving people bonuses to headhunt, and he was suspended for a whole season because of it. And then he retired. After his suspension, he was still a coach for a little while for the Saints, but then he retired. Now he's back with the Broncos, and I think this is karma. He doesn't deserve to win. He will not win, and he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck Sean Payton. Fuck the Broncos. I'm picking the Broncos over the Patriots. Not because of the Broncos, because of Russell Wilson and because of the wide receiver core they have, Cortland Sutton. But fuck Sean Payton. Just let that be known.
Yeah.
Ball's in your court. Gentlemen, ball is in your court. I'm writing down the Broncos.
Who are you going to go with, Hilton?
George is going Broncos. I don't know. I mean, if I go for the logo, it's pretty cool. It's the Captain American and the horse.
That's always throwing me for a loop. And the battle of the logos, I feel like the Patriots have one of the best logos. Of just
it does have a nice
it's
logo.
Patriotism. Unless you're a horse guy, you like horses.
I like horses. Yeah.
He was a Bronco farmer.
No, it wasn't.
Do you know how many people you could feed off a Bronco egg?
One. One person.
Doesn't taste very good, but just one person.
I mean, if I go Broncos, we're gonna sweep the Broncos, right?
Let him. What are your
I'm
thoughts?
I'm gonna go Broncos.
Yeah, then yes.
So I'll go Patriots. I go with the logo on this one.
You know what? I respect that because I think Patriots have one of the best logos and they are one of the worst teams. Yeah. So it sucks having to pick them when you know they're probably going to lose, but they defend it objectively. That is a good logo.
It is.
Captain America. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs for me.
I'm also going to pick the Chiefs, but I think this game could surprise some people.
I'm going to go Raiders.
I don't think that's bad. I think this game could surprise some people.
Chiefs for George.
Who did they already beat the Chiefs once?
Yes.
They already beat them once, which is why I think they'll split. I don't think they'll do it twice. Had they not beat them yet, I think they might do it now. But
the only other reason that I'm picking the Raiders is that the Chiefs already clinched their division, clinched playoff spot.
Did they? They're 9-5.
No, I don't think
you
so.
know what?
No,
I
they're
don't
not
think so.
guaranteed. They're not guaranteed.
No.
They're the AFC West, so they have
The Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers are in their division.
yes.
So they've clinched the division.
Big game against the Raiders of the division. It's Raiders. It's them and the Broncos, and the Broncos are 7-7. Maybe they haven't officially on paper. They've all but.
We've talked about it. It's like, no, it cannot be unless they lose all
It's
of
this
the
week,
games.
though.
Yeah.
It's all but clinched.
Right.
It's basically clinched. It's officially on paper not, because they could lose and whatever. But
I like the Chiefs.
more than likely they'll win. I just think the Chiefs have come off a few losses that do not sit well with them.
Yeah.
And I don't see Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce taking it light this game. They just lost. And who's the receiver that they're just fucking frustrated with?
Tony
Kadarius.
Yeah.
Kadarius Tony.
Yes, Kadarius Tony.
Tony Kadarius.
Something like that.
He has been just dropping stuff that hits him right in the hands and in the chest, and Patrick Mahomes is visibly frustrated. They're not going to lose this game. Do you want to second thought it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I want to give you this opportunity because there's
I
been
know.
week on week where you are just 1 point behind us.
Yeah.
This could be the 1 point that ties us.
Yeah, and I think, and you're right. As much as I do like the Raiders' tenacity,
Don't let me talk you out of it.
No, I the only reason I was going to pick them was because I was sure that the Chiefs had everything locked, but when you said their record was 9-5, I'm like, well. Anyways, so yeah, Chiefs.
Giants, Eagles.
Eagles.
The only person that can help the Dallas Cowboys at this point is Tommy DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito.
I don't see it happening. I'm taking the
Yes,
Eagles.
George is doing it.
I'm going to take the Birds.
Yeah, I'm a Birds.
Birds.
Same
Sweet.
with George.
Yeah, he's birds.
All right.
He
Sadly,
said tough week.
no, I mean, genuinely, I told you this morning this is going to be a tough week because it is. And sadly but surely, we are on our final game.
Christmas Day, last game of the week.
Christmas night. We have the 11-3 Baltimore Ravens at the 11-3 San Francisco 49ers. This is a early Super Bowl prediction game. This is the top of the AFC versus the top of the NFC with the same record. Healthy guys on both sides. There's no notable person on either side that's sitting the game out. This is a matchup dream for football enthusiasts.
I know that here in Texas, most people would be 49ers.
I hope not.
Most people that I know are 49ers.
Yeah, because they're from California.
Yeah, exactly.
They came from California?
Yeah.
All you fuckers need to stop moving here. You should be Cowboys fans.
Sorry.
You support Seattle.
Yeah, no, I hate the Niners.
I don't know if y'all noticed this earlier or not. I'm sure you did. I couldn't make eye contact with the guy behind us at the bar.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk to anybody that's a 49ers fan this week. I can't. I've been through too much. We have too much on the line.
Yeah.
And I don't need some freaking smug response of how good they... I don't need it. I don't even want to make eye contact with you. I hate the 49ers. I'm voting the Birds.
Man, let's see what George is going for.
He's taking the Niners.
He's taking the Niners.
I know he's
course
taking
he
the
is.
Niners because he's a
And
freaking sellout.
You know what? I'm a bird supporter, so I'm going birds.
That's how you freaking differentiate the real puff drink talkers versus the fake puff drink talkers. We
He'll get it. He'll
are
eventually
a
get
bird
it.
supporting podcast.
Yeah.
He's heard us say it countless times, but until he lives by the birds and dies by the birds, will he understand it? So I'm taking the Ravens. It's all up to you.
So here's my thought. Fuck the 49ers. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah! It's the only answer.
Yeah.
It's the only answer. And, you know, that's no knock to the Niners. I know you're a good team, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Just lose a game.
Yeah. Some more, please.
Show us. I want to see the blueprint. Where are your weaknesses? I want to know. Seattle needs to know. Dallas needs to know. Where can we attack you? So lose this fucking game. This is one of the rare. I hate to see players get injured. Brock Purdy, blow your knee out. Blow your fucking knee out.
Poor
He
guy.
needs the 49ers to go.
Bye.
Yeah.
Blow your knee out.
I think that's a wrap.
That's it.
That is
Thank
it.
you very much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, viewers, and send us some comments. We've been missing some comments lately. I mean,
Yeah.
apart from Andre, there's always sends some comments.
We can always count on Andre.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Let us know about your Christmas traditions.
Yeah, what do you do?
Or holiday
Oh, yeah,
traditions.
yeah.
If you celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, what do you do?
What'd you ask Santa for Christmas this year? I want to hear it all.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.